Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and it's time for some more spoilers. Now, in the last video, I covered cards that people actually give a crap about, the mythics and the rares. Now it's time to hit the rest, because there's actually some really shocking cards in there. And by shocking, I don't mean, oh wow, that's amazing. I mean, oh wow, that's gonna break standard to make it unplayable. So, starting off with the commons and uncommons that were just spoiled today, let's go with Consulate Dreadnought, because this is the craziest damn thing I've ever seen. It's a one-cost 7-Eleven, so not only do they have probably a pretzel spinner, maybe some nacho cheese, delicious slushies. I'm completely making all this up because Wisconsin doesn't have any 7-Elevens. We have a much, much classier place, and I'm not saying that as a joke, seriously. It's practically a grocery store. It's this lovely place called Quick Trip. If you don't have a Quick Trip, you live in the third world. Totally not sponsored by Quick Trip, but I'm just throwing it out there. If y'all wanted to send me some free gift cards, just saying. And I can edit this retroactively. You can order a damn fresh cooked pizza at Quick Trip. It is like gas station heaven. Anyway, this particular Consulate Dreadnought 7-Eleven has Crew 6. Now, no other properties at all, Crew 6. So you're trading 6 attack power, maybe even 7 or 8, depending upon, how granular your crewing is, I guess. And all you're getting out of it is 7, and the 11 just ensures it won't get blown up. Except it doesn't, because there's like 3 different Celestial Flare clones that could blow it up on attack, but then you just go back to your, crew. So it's not bad, it's not as good as people think, but I do think it's OP as balls, and I'll tell you why a couple cards from now. Foundry Assembler's up next. This is just a garbage filler card that says, hey look, Improvise is a mechanic, because it's a 3/3 for 5, and that's it, and then Improvise. So Improvise is garbage convoke for artifacts, basically. So you can tap artifacts that are creatures or non-creatures, so it is a step above convoke, but still complete garbage. And you could cast this guy for 0, I guess. I mean, that's the only saving grace from this card. Otherwise, obviously, it wasn't supposed to be a 3/3 for 5, and oh look, it has a nice bonus. It's basically a 3/3 for 3, and Improvise is just kind of there as a mandatory casting cost. So pretty dumb card, except you could theoretically start dumping out discounted artifacts, with the cost reducer, all kinds of artifact creatures so you can't get swung against, all kinds of beneficial servo dropping, counter dropping, Thopter creating things, and then use them all to convoke even more, or Improvise. I'm just going to keep calling it convoke. And just get this ridiculous chain of stuff until you run out of cards. So you basically just cast a whole handful of artifact creatures over 2 or 3 turns, and then just try to win the game with that. I think that'd be kind of a fun deck, not very competitive, but definitely fun. You never know though, because it kind of sounds powerful. Next up, we've got a shocking card, Fatal Push. This is unreal. So it costs 1 black and it's an instant and it destroys a creature. So you're probably thinking, okay, since it typically takes 2 to 3 mana on average, depending upon the meta, and the design of standard, to kill a creature, it's got to have a limitation for 1. Well, it does, but it's pretty doable. Destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less. So you're probably thinking, it's just some little piece of garbage, what a crap spell. Except with Revolt. Destroy that creature if it has converted mana cost 4 or less instead, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, which is what Revolt is. So in Standard, there's not that much that you have control of, and you might not have a really good target to kill something when your opponent makes one of your permanents leave the battlefield, but there's always Evolving Wilds. Now, you probably saw where I'm going with that. This is going to be insane in Modern. In fact, it might even go into Legacy and Vintage. I don't know that much about the decks, but it destroys something for 1, and stuff leaves the battlefield all the time in Vintage and Legacy, so throwing that one out there. But other than that, in Modern, fetch lands, done. It's just that simple. You want to kill something on turn 1, somebody brought out a Tarmogoyf turn 2, you could blow it up with 1 mana on the field if you waited to fetch your fetch land. That's just insane. That's completely crazy. This plus fetch lands is a powerhouse, so I expect this to be maybe a $2 uncommon, but then obviously if it's hot and modern, the foil is usually 10 to 12 bucks, so watch out for that one. A foil treasure cruise, by the way, was about $35 at one point. The one thing that I don't like, that I think might be a tiny drawback, and I think this is why it was actually kept at an uncommon slot in Standard, and that's that people don't like unreliable stuff that you can't always count on 100% of the time. So if you really need to blow something up that costs more than 2, because, come on, But you can't get rid of one of your permanents. There's just, you can't like sacrifice anything, or, you know, you don't have any scions on the field because you're playing Hello Modern. I mean, you could just pay 1 more mana and have Doomblade or Go for the Throat. You know, both of those only cost 2. And honestly, I don't even see those 2 cards that often. I don't know if it's just who I'm playing with, but I've played with about 60 to 80 different competitive Modern players, you know, at the multiple local gaming stores I've been to. And I very rarely see just outright black kill. Now, I've seen like Anguished Unmaking and, you know, the other crappy version of it that costs 4. Abrupt Decay, I think it was. But I think maybe a 1-cost black kill spell might be just a little bit too tempting. I mean, late game, it might be really hard to control making one of your permanents leave the field. You're not going to get a creature killed on purpose, and outside of that, you have very little control over it. If anything, people should buy it just for the artwork because that is freaking amazing. I could quote every movie and show and video game where somebody gets kicked off a roof, but I'm not going to. Just pretend I did. Next up, we got a broken OP piece of crap. Haha, I know, you're so surprised. It's called Siege Modification. Enchant creature or vehicle. As long as enchanted permanent is vehicle, it's basically permanently crewed. That's the way I'm going to phrase it. And then enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and first strike forever. Well, I mean, until you blow up the aura, but that'll never happen. +3/+0 and first strike sounds like an instant that should cost 3. Okay, so not only does this crew stuff for free, hey, wait a minute. Isn't there a 7-11 vehicle that costs 1 flipping mana? I could have sworn there is. So now it's a 10-11 first striker. What the hell were you thinking, Wizards? You could block that with 10 creatures and just easily still get wiped out and not kill it. Well, I think we just found the most powerful red spell in all of Standard, and honestly, did red-white vehicles need to get even more powerful? No, it did not. You know why vehicles were just barely borderline fair without going into the overpowered category? Because you had to crew them. So you get this card, you don't have to crew it. In fact, permanently crewing it for 3 mana with an aura would be powerful enough. That would be like borderline OP. Now +3 attack, okay, now you've gone crazy. And first strike, okay, that's like head explode crazy. Somebody at Wizards deeply screwed up. And I mean like unbelievably. I don't give a crap if they made it triple red. It is still too powerful. Okay, let's see how much further into hell they're going to drag Standard. Silkweaver Elite. So it's a 2/2 for 3. It's Spider-Man's weird, creepy cousin. And it has Reach. Great. But then it has Revolt. So if something left the battlefield that you control, then you get to draw a card. So you would never not need to draw a card, pretty much. So you'd always want that to go out, but then you need a creature, so you get this whole, oh, do I cast it and get a garbage 2/2 for 3, and then miss out on the card draw, or do I get hit because I don't have a creature on the field? Pretty much the most annoying mechanic I've seen lately. Did I mention how much people just love unreliable mechanics and unreliable spells that you can't count on 100% of the time? Next up, we've got Shipwreck Moray. He's a 0/5, so he's not going to wreck anything, really. He costs 4, which is way the hell too much for that level of crapitude. And when he enters battlefield, you get 4 energy, because why the hell not? Standard's broken anyway. But unfortunately, if you pay 1, Shipwreck Moray gets +2/-2 until end of turn. Oh, goody. So you have to burn energy just to make him not suck. No thanks. I mean, he would single-handedly generate 8 mana with Panharmonicon, so, you know, okay. But other than that, the -2 is just too much. That card is complete garbage. I won't even play it at the pre-release. But hey, if you think about it, we had to hit a filler at some point. I mean, they've all been pretty nuts. Next up, we've got Night Market Aeronaut, which I assume is Night Market Lookout and McKinsey Aeronaut put together, which actually kind of looks like it a little bit. It's a 2/2 flyer for 4, which means it's complete and utter garbage. Oh, but wait, there's Revolt. If a permanent left the battlefield, you can summon it with a 1/1 counter on it, which almost makes it not suck, but not quite. Wow, a 2/2 flyer that can unreliably maybe sometimes be a 3/3. Wow. Next. Okay, looks like we got Aeronaut Admiral. He's a 3/1 flyer for 4, which actually isn't that bad. I mean, it's not great. What I'm a little bit concerned about, though, is vehicles you control have flying, because at this point, why the hell shouldn't they? I mean, why have 3 broken decks in Standard when you could have like 9 broken decks in Standard that nobody could stand to play? I mean, if you're going to metaphorically burn down Magic the Gathering for the insurance money, you might as well really go for it. So you've already got a 2-turn 3-cost 10/11 creature with first strike. Why the hell not make the rest of your deck flying? I mean, why not? Oh wait, let me check. Is it only vehicles that he crews? Nope, it's all vehicles, so he's still free to swing himself. This card is some crap. Hey Wizards, I got a little tip for you. This is how you sell packs once, one time. Then people are done with your crap and they're gonna go play another game. Okay, what kind of BS do we have next? Sweatworks Brawler. Oh look, she's wearing those little Hulk hands. I think my little cousin has one of those. A 3/3 for 4 with Improvise and Menace. That's actually OP as hell. Why am I not surprised? So in other words, it's a 3/3 for 1 with Menace. Great, that's fantastic. Put it in the pile with the other overpowered as all balls red-white vehicle garbage. Damn it, Wizards, what the hell are you thinking? Have you lost your damn minds? Okay, what's the next one? Decommission for 3 as an instant. Hopefully this fires half the Wizards of the Coast staff. Nope, looks like it destroys target artifact or enchantment. Oh, thank God, we're all safe from the 10/11 boat. We could blow it up for 3 now. Now see, this is how Revolt should work though. If a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, you gain 3 life. So really you just wanted to blow up the artifact or enchantment, but it would be nice if Revolt went off. You know, not just, oh, I don't want to cast this yet because I don't have Revolt. Oh, you know, 3 life, whatever, not the biggest deal. So finally, an appropriate spell. Okay, what Hurricane Katrina level crapstorm are we in for next? Let's see. Winding Constrictor. Here we go. It's a 2/3 snake, so, you know, appropriate gold card, I guess. If 1 or more counters would be placed on an artifact or creature you control, that many of those counters plus 1 are placed on that permanent instead. Oh my God. I am so glad that the counter decks are not played in those colors. Well, although from what I've seen, they could be, so I'm a little bit worried, because this is Hardened Scales in snake form. Hardened Scales was just a little bit popular back in the day. I mean, at least I'm seeing a high variety of decks here. Like, you got the Counters deck, you got the All Artifacts deck with Glorified Affinity Convoke, and then you've got, you know, red-white vehicles, and you've got Emrakul on turn 4. What else is out there? So it's like a large variety, but they're all unstoppable and they're all unbeatable. They're all way too powerful. So what they need to do is just turn down the damn power. People don't just want more decks to choose from. They want to like be able to play past turn 5. And I don't even mean much past turn 5. Like turn 8 is perfectly appropriate for Standard. I mean, a lot of my decks went on turn 8. So, you know, just don't turn Standard into Modern. Nobody wants that. If we wanted that, we would play Modern. And I think the popularity of Frontier proves that people don't want Modern. Well, then again, Frontier is an exact clone of Modern, and a lot of the decks do have the game in the bag on turn 4. But in case you didn't catch it yet, Frontier is catching on because people are idiots. Oh my God, are we almost done with these damn spoilers? Untethered Express. All aboard, we're going to Hogwarts. You know what's funny? This card epitomizes how Aether Revolt has gone completely off the rails. The flavor text, by the way, is rules and rails are made to be broken. No, they're not. Stop designing garbage Standard sets. If you want people to buy your 178 card sets and want the singles to be worth anything, 1, make it a 232 card set, or 2, make it fun to play. So this is a 4/4 for 4 with Trample, which means it's a garbage version of the other Trample train, but whenever it attacks, put a counter on it, so that's always fun, and the crew cost is 1. So they're really adding the dynamic vehicles, the hyper cheap with the super high crew cost, and then the mid-range, you know, expensive with the super low crew cost. I think that's cool for flexibility, but it's all going to blow up in their face because now you can just crew everything for free and nothing means anything anymore. Our only hope right now is that that train was carrying nuclear warheads and it derailed very, very close to like the Kaladesh main city. Because then it would blow that place straight to hell. That is our only hope right now. I'm not sure how that would ban cards from Standard, but they'd find some flavor way to do it. Next up, we've got Pacification Array. It's a 1-cost artifact, you know, because we needed more of that for the pretend version of Convoke they got going. You pay 2 and tap it and tap target artifact or creature because why not? So this is a better version of Deadlock Trap and it costs 1. Gotcha. Yeah, we totally needed that, Wizards. Thanks. Hey, you guys want to know the real actual reason that they usually leak these cards like 1 or 2 at a time? Because we're 36 out of 184 cards into this, and I already don't want to play standard. They know people are going to be pissed when they see this overpowered garbage because it just looks like unplayable, just OP, pay-to-win garbage. I mean, it just looks just horrible. Like, who would look at these cards and say, yeah, I can't wait for this to get released? And what really pisses me off the most out of anything is the people who are constantly saying, oh, standard needed to be on basically a 2-year cycle instead of a 18-month cycle for cards because I want to keep my cards and play my decks for that long. Yeah, because everybody's still playing Allies and Rally. You keep your deck for 3 to 6 months and you damn well know it. After that, you rebuild it. Whether the card's cycled out or not, Wizards is going to power creep the crap out of you and you won't be able to stay competitive with your old deck. Everybody knows that. And yet they release information like this and nobody catches on. Nobody understands that they just killed their old decks. Oh, you wanted to play Black Red Madness Vampires because that was a really hot deck? Well, fast forward 6 months and honk honk, here comes the 10-11 First Strike crap barge. Man, most people are just so unbelievably stupid. They just don't get it. They do not understand what Wizards is doing, how detrimental it is, the effect it's having on the game, and what this means for the future. This is the worst set of standard spoilers I've ever seen in my entire life. In the whole history of playing the game, I've never seen more detrimental, more discouraging, disgustingly overpowered cards. I've never seen something like this in my entire life. They're simultaneously trying to ruin Standard and Modern. That's what really pisses me off. There's nowhere left to go other than Commander. Oh, or another game, which they're already losing players left and right to Pokemon and Hearthstone, so why not step on the gas and try and make some money on the way out by overselling this overpowered garbage? Makes sense to me from a business standpoint. If you already know you're failing, hey, why not? Here's the thing. Only Hasbro thinks they're failing. They, lost 5-10%, from $1,000 decks that nobody could afford to keep up with in Tarkir. And, oh, look, attendance is down a little bit. Do something. Full art lands. Get out the expeditions. Do this, do that. Reprint Eternal Masters. Just everything we could do. Just shovel the money in. Quick, grab all the money. Like hungry hippos. They're all stuffing money into their mouths. Now, if you were to wind back the clock just a little bit, you know that they're making about triple the amount of money as of Return to Ravnica. That's the unofficial rumor going around, that their total print volume and their total sales volume tripled when Return to Ravnica came out. So they're actually wildly successful, so a little tiny drop of like 5, 10, 15, maybe 20% right around, cons, and they lost a little bit around Origins, a little bit around SOI. You lose people, whatever. I mean, some people, they got into Magic, played for 2-3 years, and then just said, screw it. Whatever. I mean, you're going to have a rebound. You can't continue to go up forever, okay? Were these the same people that are just so stupid they were like building houses left and right saying, wow, housing is going up 10% per year. That'll maintain for the next 10 years. No, nobody can afford houses then, idiots. Seriously, anybody investing in the housing market right in 2006 and 2007 must have had something wrong with their head. At a certain point, it's gonna have to rebound, and unfortunately, it didn't exactly just rebound and equalize a little bit and kind of normalize. No, it went straight down the toilet, but that's because Bank of America decided to give loans to idiots. So in this case, back in the corporate world with Hasbro, they think that they need to pull all these ridiculous tricks, printing just stupidly overpowered cards that everybody, needs, let's be honest. If you want to keep playing the game, you now need Aether Revolt because apparently Hasbro needs money and they're failing to see that they just attracted, double to triple the amount of customers that they had before. Well, now they're going to piss them off and scare them away, like permanently. Nobody's ever coming back to Magic with this level of power creep. Never. Every single change they've made, even Magic Online, going to treasure chests or whatever the hell they're called, and, this and that, and the extra sets, and releasing all these in a row, and purposely trying to screw over investors, and re-releasing stuff that they lied about and said was limited. I mean, all this just outright lying to the customers lately to make more money, and just ripping them off online. It's just unbelievable, the stupidity of some people that they can't see what's going on here. Wizards is doing everything they can to make money until it all collapses on them, and it will. This isn't sustainable. Ask anybody who has an 8th grade economics level education, which apparently Wizards doesn't, have anybody like that working there. What happens if you keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing for more money in something that people don't need, okay? They're not selling me food. They're not selling me electricity or water. You can't keep pissing off your customers and demanding more and more and more money. People aren't just gonna summon more money or take it away from food or water or housing or electricity and put it into your products. Sorry. Oh, and last time I checked, the whole world isn't making 50% more money all of a sudden. If they were, that would cause inflation and it would equalize. That's not even logical. It's just stupid, careless, and irresponsible. I don't know what the hell either Wizards of the Coast management or Hasbro or both of them because of pressure on them is thinking right now. What they should be doing is putting out just a fun to play mechanic that people are like, oh man, I want to try that, but not make it overpowered. Just make the people who are interested in it, they can buy the cards, and then a couple solid, kill spells and counter spells, because those are universal. There you go. A couple good dual lands, you got yourself a set. No problem. Sales would be exactly average. You don't have to force people with 10, 11 flying boats. Whatever. If they want to ruin the company, that affects me more than any of you. I guarantee you that. But I'll be playing Magic no matter what, to an extent. I mean, I already lowered the amount that I order because the singles aren't worth a damn thing, and they just effectively increased the shipping overhead by making a bunch of $5 cards now $3 cards. They just destroyed the margin, basically. But because of their recent stupidity, I just started a third channel. So if it continues to go down this road, I'm going to release maybe one video a week, if not just shut down this channel. So thanks, Wizards, you deserve it. I'll see you guys next video.